Close your mouth, yeah. What happened here, Alan?
I didn't give you consent to report me.
What happened? Look here.
Yeah, what happened? Look where you go with your head.
I didn't give them any personal.
I think something is wrong. Something is wrong.
You have something is wrong. You're wrong, my friend. What happened? It's not normal.
Don't record me.
No.
Is that free speech? This is my free speech.
No,
too.
no, no.
Thank you, my love.
need
Thank you.
my permission to
No,
record
you
yourself.
don't. I'm on public land.
No.
This is public land, so you should stop harassing them.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You're
harassing them.
saying discriminatory language. Why are you saying go back to your country? This
So Simone Sanders of MSNDNC recently said that black people were next in line for deportation. Now that's news to me. I have been an American citizen, a black male American citizen for 64 years. And I guess the bigger question is, where would they send us to? I mean, no other country has an open border policy where they'll receive, 15 to 20 million foreigners into their country. So people on the left, liberals, Democrats, whoever you might be, can you please do me a favor, do us all a favor, and stop comparing black Americans to illegal rapists, murderers, drug traffickers, human people traffickers. We are definitely not the same. In the words of Kendrick Lamar, they not like us.
Now, what I do find interesting is that when 30,000 Ukrainians sought asylum here in the city of Chicago, nobody said a mumbling word. But all of a sudden, indigenous people who are trying to get to a land that was robbed from them through colonization, they want me as a black man to be mad at them? You gotta be out of your freaking mind if you think I'm going to allow white supremacy to divide black and brown and indigenous people in the city of Chicago.
You want America to be 99% white.
Probably say realistically we could get to like 75. I think we need to like deport a lot of people to, actually have that. I think we just need to deport people.
Here's the problem though. It's like, okay, we deport people, but what does that solve?
Yeah, can I ask you a real quick question, just like out of curiosity? What historical precedent do you have for mass deportations generating a net economic gain in the United States?
Well, I don't think, like I said, I don't think GDP is everything. I would say culture.
I'm not just saying GDP, I'm just saying gain of any kind.
Wages actually meant more in 1965 before the Hart-Celler Act, so I guess I would reflect
Do you think that was because of mass deportation?
No, it was because it was pretty much all white people here, and, they weren't over here yet.
Do you know why wages were so competitive in the 1960s?
Because America actually built stuff.
Do you know why America actually built stuff back then?
Because we had all the factories and...
Yes, because we had one of the few countries that wasn't completely bombed out infrastructure-wise after World War II, which made it incredibly easy for the United States to maintain a lead over other countries until after the Marshall Plan reached its fruition. And then suddenly you have the 1980s where a bunch of people are freaking out over Japan potentially surpassing the United States. Right now it's China. They're concerned about China surpassing the United States.
Yeah, because we opened our doors to China. Pretty sure Nixon was the one who did that.
Everything. My question to you is, when in American history has mass deportations been a net positive for the country?
When has mass immigration been a net positive for the country?
Throughout the entire United States history.
Yeah, but it depends where these immigrants are from.
It wouldn't be America without immigration.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be America, but those immigrants, they were mainly, Germans and WASPs that were coming over.
Are you forgetting the people who were brought over in the slave trade? Those are immigrants too.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying black people are essential to American culture. Black people have, been in America since America was founded. But I would say,
but you want America to be 99% white.
I would probably say realistically we could get to like 75.
I'm mainly asking, when has mass deportations been a net positive in American history?
We've never had to do mass deportations because we never had 50 million.
We did mass deportations during Mexican repatriation in the 1930s. There's the Indian removal.
Yeah, but it was a lot less people.
There's also Operation WB in the 1940s. There were the Palmer raids against Italian Americans in the 1930s. Mass deportations are very much.
But it wasn't as much.
How do you know that for sure? How many people were deported?
How many people were in the Mexican appreciation? I don't know. I mean,
so how many people would you like to see deported and from
Probably.
Obviously, you want all the Somalis deported.
Probably, yes. All the Somalians.
Even if they're American.
Even if they're citizens, yes. I would probably say about 20 million, realistically. 20 to 30 million.
So if
there's only 11
million
undocumented immigrants in the United States.
I know. I think we need to denaturalize some people.
And how do you do that without impeding upon people's civil rights?
Past like 10 to 20 years, I'd say that could be our framework. Have you committed a crime? Are you net positive or net negative on the taxpayer system? Have you acclimated to American society? And I think we can do that.
How is that in any sense an ethical policy? How is that not going to be exploited?
Like, wouldn't that also apply to every white person?
I mean,
if a white person commits a crime, should they be denaturalized and sent back to Germany or England?
I mean, I think on average, should a white person be deported if they committed a crime?
Well, yes, that's the question.
Should they be same standard?
No,
you're holding the standard towards
their family's been here long.
So why are you attaching a different sense of judgment towards people based off of their race?
It's not like just. I mean, if someone from Sweden committed a crime within the past 5-10 years, they would have to go back as well.
What if I gathered up 5 women and said that you raped all 5 of them, and then you need to be denaturalized and sent to another country? How do you respond to that in a legal and ethical sense without having your civil rights impeded?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
I'm not saying that you wouldn't. I'm not saying that you would do that. I'm saying that what if I use the legal system in order to denaturalize you, take you out of the country, and then seize your property and your business if you had one?
That's a very extreme hypothetical.
That is
I don't think that happened.
Exactly what happens when you deal with mass deportations. What do you think happened during Japanese internment? What do you think happened to all those Japanese businesses?
I don't think Japanese. I mean, it's always easier to reflect, after the thing has happened.
These people were given 24 to 48 hours notice, and then they had their business and property seized. Okay, it was wrong in the moment, and we knew it was wrong in the moment.
Yeah, so wait, what are you arguing?
I'm arguing, how do you have a system like that in place that isn't going to be exploited? What if I just gather enough people to say that you're guilty of a crime?
It might be exploited, but it just kind of has to happen.
Why does it have to happen? Again, you're advocating for a legal system that would void your rights simply based off of what?
It just kind of needs to happen. I mean, that's
why. Why does this need to happen?
Because America is being replaced, Canada is being replaced, England's being replaced.
Let me ask you this question.
You're having a different sense of judgment based off of people's race, which is already unethical, and then you're claiming that this has to happen, but you haven't provided a substantial reason as to why. There's no historical precedent for mass deportation actually helping the people of America in general.
Yeah, because we've never had 50 million immigrants in the country. I mean, we live in such a time that's different from all eras.
But the country is immigrants. What you're saying is that because it was white immigrants, it's okay. But if it's black or brown or somebody that's not a Christian...
I'm not deporting black people. Black people have been in America for, I'm pretty sure, longer than my
Under the system that you propose, that would also make Africans vulnerable to being denaturalized and deported.
No, it wouldn't, because black people are essential. Black people have been in America. That's different. West Africans have been in America since America was founded.
Are you sure that a legal system won't be disproportionately negative towards people who are of African descent? Again,
I mean, the Germans were very tribal.
Did mass deportations work? I need you to provide at least one historical precedent for that actually.
Because it's never had to happen. We've never had to do this.
Let me give you a perfect historical example of that.
When have we deported 20 million people?
It's estimated between 300,000 to 2 million Mexicans and Mexican Americans were deported from the United States, often without cause, from 1929 to 1939. And would you say that was a negative or positive for the United States?
I'd say it's a positive.
Okay, then why is it that the United States needed those laborers again, so they instituted the Bracero program only a few years after that?
I'm not familiar with the Bracero program.
That's exactly what I'm speaking on, because if you don't have any historical precedent...
I don't have a problem with Mexicans. I really don't. Good food,
I didn't say that. But you said that you need to have mass deportation, but you've got zero historical precedents for this. And
we've never had this many people in the country.
But as a proportion of the population,
when have you needed Indians to work American jobs? When have you needed Somalians in Minnesota? I mean, the list goes on.
As a proportion to the United States population, 2 million Mexican and Mexican Americans in 1929 to 1939. So that is a fairly, adaptable model to see what happens when we remove that many people from the country. And there are multiple other instances. The Indian Removal Act. Would you support the Indian Removal Act in retrospect?
I don't know. It's a tough question. Indian reservations, I don't know if you ever drove for them, but they're kind of rough areas.
Why is that? Because
the United States government has been robbing them since the United States was formed.
But they didn't build anything. What did we rob them of?
No, that's completely false.
Their
that
land,
is
their lives,
false.
their childhood, their women. Read the book, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Do you know why they passed the Indian Removal Act?
No, I do not. Andrew,
It's because they wanted access to Native American gold mines. Okay, they wanted access to Native American businesses. Mind you, that the people that they were removing were assimilating into American culture. They were doing everything that you're asking them to do. They were assimilating into American culture. They were running businesses. Instead of fighting this outright, aside from the Seminoles in Florida, most of the people who were subject to being deported or moved to Oklahoma in the Trail of Tears tried to fight the Indian Removal Act in the Supreme Court, in which President Andrew Jackson just ignored the Supreme Court's ruling. So again, you have another example of mass deportation being a net negative on the people of America and the economy as well.
You look at an area, I mean, if you look at I drove through Indian reservations because there is Indian reservations in North Dakota,
if you're going to talk about the conditions of Native American reservations today, that is because of the Indian Removal Act. You're blaming people for being exploited, and you're saying, well, this is this place
I don't
is
know.
rough.
It's a lot easier to talk on things in retrospect. I mean, at the time, they thought that was probably the best thing to do.
No, it was highly controversial at the time. That's why the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Native American tribes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm talking about today. I'm not talking. I can't speak.
You're going to kick out 350,000 people because of one stereotype. What about all the white people who commit crimes in this country? You're going to kick them out of this country? You're going to kick them out of this country too?
Matters. But you haven't answered the question.
Your comment is just as racist as Donald Trump's comment. The idea that you focus on one Haitian person and use that as a justification for a racist foreign policy is disgusting. It's abhorrent.
It's disgusting that an 11-year-old was killed by a Haitian migrant who rammed his car into a bus. That is disgusting.
A shithole country?
He was referencing the government, which treats their people poorly.
It's made of racism.
I'm sure, does anybody at this table, have you heard the name Aiden Clark? An 11-year-old boy? No? You guys don't know his name?
Here we go.
11-year-old boy killed by a Haitian immigrant not the Haitians, not the American people.
I love how they cherry pick isolated cases and forget the fact that people who are immigrants actually commit fewer crimes than people who are residents in this country. But getting back to the point of this discussion about Haiti, first of all, I'm so glad that you're concerned about Haiti right now.
I am. It's a sovereign nation.
And the alleged brain drain. But the U.S. State Department says, would you let me speak? Because I let you speak. The U.S. State Department says that it's actually not safe for Americans to travel to Haiti right now. So you want to dump these people into a country where even our own State Department, the Trump administration, says it's not safe.
The State Department has a level 4 warning for Haiti, Syria, and Somalia. It says do not travel for U.S. citizens, and if you do travel, prepare a will.
The larger problem is that this is a country that is now governed by a racist foreign policy and a racist immigration policy. We're allowing white South Africans to come to this country. Those are the only people who can come to this country right now, white South Africans. But 350,000 Haitian Americans who are black can't stay here, even though they have been here, many of them for many years. They can't stay here. They're tax-paying people. They are law-abiding people. They are people who actually do jobs and create jobs. They're actually people who are doing jobs that some Americans don't want to do.
No, they want the jobs. They just don't want to do it for that wage.
Cleaning toilets.
They don't want to do it for that wage.
In a hotel.
And big business, the healthcare industry loves to keep them here. It's modern slave labor. You oppose
Caroline, you're not the only person at the table.
Just a second. I will say he did let you finish your entire thought, so just let him finish his.
This is a bipartisan legislation, the Immigration Act of 1990, signed by President George H.W. Bush. At the time when Republicans and Democrats used to agree that it was okay, that America actually believed in the principles of the Statue of Liberty, that we actually wanted to have people come here and seek asylum. He said Haiti's a shithole country. He said they're poisoning the blood of this country. He said they're bringing AIDS to this country. He accused Haitian immigrants of eating people's cats and dogs.
You're citing emotions.
That's what Donald Trump said.
I'm citing what the Supreme Court decided. The Supreme Court decided that your argument was moot.
And the Supreme Court was wrong. There were 3 dissenting members who said otherwise.
So I had some white colleagues ask me what I thought about Trump actually segregating whites and blacks. And I actually told them straight up, like, honestly, I would love that. Now, they looked at me like I was crazy, and they almost spit up their almond milk. And I think they thought that maybe I was saying that out of hatred, but it really isn't about hatred, here's the thing. I'm not talking about their version of segregation. See, I'm talking about our version of righteous separation, spiritual sovereignty, and black sufficiency. See, the truth of it is that integration was never about freedom. It was finesse. It was a system's way of saying, let's stop them from succeeding independently so we can profit from their brilliance directly. It was about control. And so I want us to be very clear about this. You know, we were never separate but equal. So that's a lie. We were separate and excelling. We had our own schools. We had our own banks. We had our own businesses. And baby, we were thriving. Black Wall Street, they burned it. Rosewood, they bombed it. Wilmington, they overthrew it. Why? Because we were doing too well without them, and they couldn't handle that. And so that's the truth. They didn't really want segregation gone. They wanted control. This is why we know that integration was just repackage of chains. When we were separate, we actually were building and excelling. And when they saw that we could excel without them, then it was like, oh no, we got to take control and make sure that their labor is profiting us. So right around that time, they rolled out this whole standardized testing, ACT and SAT. Y'all remember that? They created this IQ ranking to measure their norms, not our brilliance. And then we were said we were behind when we really weren't. We were just building our own lane, not asking for theirs. See, I don't know about you all, but I'm kind of tired of the lies. It's very exhausting, you know, just the lies that continue to be promoted. And I want to talk about the melanin, because this whole thing that we're not smart enough, that we're not bright enough, is simply just a lie. And so, you know, all this testing that they're doing, and I have kids in school, and they're made to feel that they cannot achieve. And I have to remind them about their actual superpower, melanin. See, not just your skin tone, but in your brain, specifically neuromelanin, that rich dark pigment found in areas like the substantia nigra, which are critical for learning and memory and decision making and emotional regulation. See, if you don't know, then you won't know how to respond. But when you learn about the studies that have actually linked the neuromelanin to higher concentrations and how it's related to enhanced memory and processing and higher intelligence and faster reaction times, then you know why they have hidden this information for so long. Because when you have higher melanin, you have stronger brain resilience against degenerative diseases. So translation to that is melanin doesn't just make you glow, it makes you grow. So we know that it's not coincidental that people with more melanin have historically been creators, inventors, innovators across every discipline, while also being the most suppressed, because they know that the more melanin you have in your body and in your brain actually produces higher intelligence. So the Bible also says this too in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 7. It says he placed treasures in earthen vessels. What treasures? It was in us all along, right? So we have more melanin, and we know that people with less melanin, because it's a recessive gene and it's a mutation, lack the same level of intelligence, of many different benefits that come along with that. What's so interesting about it is that we're supposed to be looking at this as if it's something negative. But why is it negative when every other cultural group does this? Group economics. See, the truth of the matter is they have stolen from us so many different things, and yet we still survive. And so I don't want to offend, but I have to be blunt here. When we invented it, they patented it. When we built it, they banked on it. So everything we created, they made sure they benefited off of it. Just like Louis Latimer, he actually developed the light bulb, but Edison got all the glory for it. And this has been going on through history. We know that Granville T. Woods laid the foundation for trains. Corporations got the contracts. Dr. Patricia Bath revolutionized eye surgery. The system licensed the tech. Black music became white record labels, billion-dollar industries off of our talent. Every time we create, they capitalize. We are the genius, but they control the royalties. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So when we talk about the facts and segregation, I want to be very clear. It's not racist. We have to understand the dynamics of this. See, the black dollar actually is the fastest running dollar in America. So let's do the math here. And I think it's quite funny. Black people have spending power over 1.6 trillion. But guess what? That dollar stays in our community just for 6 hours. While the white community, their dollar stays in their community 17 days. And guess what? Asian communities, it stays in their community 20 days. Jewish communities over 3 weeks. Why? Because we're systemically disarmed from owning what we build. And this is no coinky dink. The scripture said this would happen. So now our dollar does the labor, but the system collects the check. And this is why I support segregation on our own terms. See, that 400 years of slavery is over. And when I say that I want us to be segregated, I don't mean oppressed. I mean organize. Let's build black banks again. Let's educate our babies on the truth, not whitewashed lies. And let's support black farmers, black techs, black healing, black brilliance. And no, it doesn't mean I hate white people. No, it means I finally love us enough to stop begging for scraps from a table we built but never welcomed to. See, the Bible told us about this, yet we hop, skip, and jump over the fact that Deuteronomy 28, 43, and 44 already said it. It says, the stranger shall rise above you high, and you shall come down low. They shall lend to you, but you shall not lend to them. And this is exactly what has been happening for 400 years plus years. We built houses, businesses, schools, and they took them and taxed them to death. But beloved, there's hope, because Deuteronomy 30:3 also says, and Yah will turn your captivity and have compassion upon you, and will return and gather you from all nations. So yes, I welcome segregation, because restoration is already in motion. And I want y'all to understand this. We are not asking for more. We're building. See, we were never given anything from you all. I'm not asking to sit at somebody's table anymore. See, I'm trying to go along with scripture and build my people, gather my people, not because they are more melanated, but because we need to know that we serve the Most High and that He's going to take care of us, because separation was never our curse. It was our covenant. And now it's our strategy. It says to come out from among them, be ye separated. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. So this isn't about racism. It's about us reclaiming what is already ours.
One moment, one statement, and within hours, everything changed. A man made a remark that many people feel as deeply offensive, calling for black Americans to be excluded from the country. What may have been intended to provoke quickly sparked widespread criticism, with people from many different backgrounds condemning the comment and defending the principle of equality, dignity, and respect. As the backlash grew, social media erupted with millions of reactions. Community leaders, everyday citizens, and public figures joined the conversation, reminding the public that America has been shaped by people of every race, background, and culture. Before long, the focus shifted from the controversial statement itself to the broader question of how words can influence community and why accountability matters in today's connected world. Whether the speaker expected the response or not, the reaction became a powerful reminder that public statements often carry real consequences. In an era where a single comment can reach millions within minutes, respect and responsibility matter more than ever. Now, I would like to hear from you. Do you think public figures and individuals should face greater accountability for divisive statements, or should controversial opinions simply be met with more open debate? Let me know your thoughts in the comment below, and please keep the conversation respectfully. If you enjoy thoughtful discussion on a current event, society, history, and culture, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you can never miss an upload. Hit the like button and share this video with someone who enjoys meaningful conversation. Your support helps this channel grow and allow us to continue bringing you important stories from around the world.